So in last week's video, I had a viewer ask, he said, hey Dale, he said, are you actually using that heat gun that you preheat the jig head up with for powder coating? Are you using that as the last stage for the final cure on the powder coat? That's the question we're going to answer today. And before we get to the answer on that one, I'm going to give you a real quick tip. I mentioned in the previous video that if you guys have some of that clumpy powder, don't throw it away, because there is another option. I'm going to kind of walk you through that and show you that today while we're answering his question on powder coating. And the easiest thing that I found, especially on the chunky powder that's already kind of got some moisture or whatever reason, it just isn't going to float right or boil right or work well in your fluid bed, you can still go ahead and put it in your fluid bed. I'm going to be using some orange that's actually working, and then the black is not. And I'm going to show you both ways. You still can make it work, but it's kind of rough using the black. And then I'm going to do the second dip in the orange, and you can kind of see how that turns out right now in the background. And then lastly, I'm going to do the entire head orange. And since the black's not doing real well in the fluid bed, that's going to be my secondary color. And you can see it's going to dot up real nicely, give you a nice looking two-tone head. And that way you're not throwing away some powder that may be working towards the end of its life. Now then, finally, to answer the question, I hang all these on a little lure drying rack. It makes it a lot easier. That way I'm standing in one spot. I can do the double coats or triple coats on the powder coat and then hang them right there at the rack, right there where I'm working. And then after I get done with that, I do have a dedicated oven, and it's just a little Black & Decker toaster oven like you'd use, or maybe you even seen your grandma use for making French toast, not French toast, but garlic toast or something like that. Just real simple, easy to buy. I'll put a link down below to that, along with those little forceps that I'm using to hold the hooks. That way you're not burning your fingers with that heat gun. And then I take that entire rack that I've stacked everything up after I've got my initial powder coat on, I set it right on top of the oven. I take them off, put them on the rack, and then on the actual baking, I get that close to 350 degrees. I will double check that with one of the thermal thermometers with the laser light or whatever it's called. I use it for my barbecue grill as well. If you guys barbecue, you probably got one. But I use that just to double check that we're getting around that 350 degrees. I let that oven on a timer, and in fact, we've got 5 minutes left because I'm finishing up. What I'm doing in the background is getting that done for you guys, and then we'll be using some of those lures to time next week. But I set it in there for 15 minutes, and then I just let it cool off inside that oven. I don't even open it up. I just shut it off after 15 minutes, let it cool back off. Again, guys, it's really, really important. Make sure that you're wearing your safety gear. Make sure that you're wearing safety glasses as well as a respirator anytime that you're working around these powders. I don't want anybody ever getting sick, but that's a big, big deal, and you don't want to be breathing that stuff in. You also don't want to be breathing in the fumes on that, which is why that I've got a little toaster oven out here. You're going to hear people tell you that you can do this in your oven at home. Trust me, you do not want this in your house. You don't want it in the main oven that your wife's making you roast or brisket or whatever she cooks in the oven. Chicken pot pies, any of those good meals that you can think of that come out fresh out of the oven, scalloped potatoes. You don't want any of this powder coat stuff in your oven. It's not food safe. I highly do not recommend it. What I do recommend is getting your own dedicated little toaster oven. That way, if you decide you want to start doing kydex down the road, if you want to continue doing your powder coating, this little oven will do both. That's actually the same oven. I've been using this oven for a long time because I started out making kydex holsters way before I got into powder coating. Either way, that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys all have a blessed week. If you got something out of this video, consider hitting that thumbs up. And then if you've got a different system for powder coating, comment down below and let us know what it is that you're using, what you're doing, and any other tips that you want to help this young man that was asking how I cure it. You can hear the bell just went off. I hope you all have a blessed week, and let's get outside and make something happen.